Great. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to discussion 4. This video, we'll be going over question 9. It says question 9, given the following text variable in log, so it's a whole big nice string. It says fill in the regular expression in the variable pattern. So fill in something here. So after we execute this code, day should be 26, month is January, and year is 2014. So again, I'm going to go over to our handy dandy regex 101, and here again is the string. And it looks like we want to somehow extract the 26, the January, and the 2014. So day, month, year, for all from this whole big string, which has a lot of other information that we don't care about. So again, we're only given one example here. So you might just be tempted just to hard code it, just to say, well, literally find the 26th and the January. That's not going to work. Of course, in the real world, we'd have lots of other strings exactly like this one. So we do have to come up with a general expression that will do all of our matching. Another thing to note here is that if you look at this code, it says read.findAll pattern log, great. And then it finds the first match, which somehow has 3 elements in it. So that might be a little bit weird. And if you first looked at this problem, you might think, oh, our first match, if we run read.findAll, our first match might be 26, our second match might be January, and our third match might be 2014. We actually are going to want to have that information all in one match. Well, how do we do that? We're going to take advantage of this syntax called grouping. And what grouping does is, like, kind of within a match, it allows you to highlight information that that you care about. And I think in the specific Python context with a specific like RE module, everything you group will be returned as tuples. So for example, in a match, you might have, in this specific case, 3 tuples, the first representing the day, the second representing the month, and the third representing the year. That all sounds confusing. It is, and don't worry about it. We'll walk through it, and then you'll get to see exactly how this works. So going back here to our string, it looks like the pattern is clearly, well, we have a bunch of gibberish. We have an open bracket, so it looks like the information we need, all comes after the first open bracket. Then we have 2 digits, then we have a slash, then we have January, so like our month, maybe another slash, and then we have our year, and then we end with a colon. And the colon represents the time, but we don't care about anything including and after this colon. So first thing we can do is we want to match, let's say, the bracket. And again, well, not again, I haven't said it yet, but because the open bracket is a meta character, you may have seen it if you've watched the other videos, you may have seen it when we kind of talk about like a range of values that we might want to match from. So if we just put a bracket in there, regex will say like, oh, I'm expecting a range here. So the way you can kind of get around that and say, no, I actually want to match a literal bracket is to use this backslash operator. And you can see the explanation here. So we match that. And then we match, let's say we have 2 digits. So again, like the previous problem, we can say /d/d or /d2, same thing. The next thing we need is to match a slash. So you can do that. And it looks like we get an error. It says an unescaped delimiter must be escaped with a backslash. So even though perhaps this character is also a meta character as well, so we can use something like this, and then that will match the character, the / character literally. So we can keep moving. The next thing it looks like is that we have some set of letters. So maybe a way we can do that is we can use /w, or alternatively A to Z. And again, that'll just match 1, but we want however many there are. So that could be 3. So maybe we know that there will be exactly 3. Um, we don't know that. Maybe, for example, June is represented like this. But we could say 3, or to be safe, we can say actually as many as there are, 1 or more. Um, and again, because the / is not in this range, we don't match it yet. But because we need to keep moving, now let's specify that we want that / again. And again, we have to use this annoying syntax. And then we have the year. So the year is pretty straightforward. It's just 4 digits in a row. So again, we can do //, /C. That's kind of irritating. So we can say I want 4 digits in a row. Then again, just to be safe, this will match, like this has all the information we need. But just to be safe, we can say, hey, I want to end with a colon. And if we just leave the colon, yeah, I don't think the colon is a meta character, so in this case, we don't need to escape it. But I think I don't know if there's much of a difference between the two, but let's just leave it like this. So there you have it. There's all of our information. We selected all of our information. But if we just run this, if we say, oh, find all cases of this, we don't, like, the interpreter, whatever regex interpreter we're using, isn't going to know specifically that 26 is the day, that JAN is the month, and that 2014 is the year. For all it knows, it's just one big long string. So that's where grouping comes in. And the way grouping is that we want to surround, like, the section of our match that is important to us. We want to surround that with parentheses. So for example, the day, we know that this part is what corresponds to this match. So what we can do is we can surround this with parentheses. And wow, it's actually quite helpful. So you'll say the full match is this big long thing, but the first group is 26. And that's perfect because now we've isolated the information we want, but now I've isolated it even further to say, okay, from that, what's the day of the month that matters? Well, 26, because we put this group in parentheses. And you can see the whole match is in blue, and then the group is in green. Likewise, we can continue to do that for the other bits. So we don't want to put these slashes within our groups because we don't actually want to see the slashes. The slashes are just there to kind of like tell us that we're on the right track and we're looking at the right thing, but we don't actually want to see the slashes on our output. And again, so you see the second group, January, awesome. And then likewise for the fourth group. So now we have our full match, it's this, and we've highlighted 3 groups, each with the day, the month, the year. Great. So now we can take this is our full pattern, and we can go back here, and we can just put this in there, and it works exactly as we might expect. This bit of code here is a little bit weird. Perhaps it might be easier just to comment this out, just to like get you more familiar with kind of Python, how regex interacts with Python. So you can run this, then we can look at matches, and we see, oh, matches is a list of all the matches, but there's really only one list, and that, like, there's really only one match, so there's one item in the list, and that first item in the list is a tuple with 3 elements, each of the 3 elements corresponding to each of our groups. So like they do before, they say matches 0, which the first match and also the only match, it's a tuple. And then we can say day, month, year equals that. And then we can look at day, month, year. And of course, this line here is just whoever wrote this discussion, putting all this information back in the list. But yeah, so there's our pattern. A lot of annoying like backslashes and forward slashes and all those sorts of things, but it's a good introduction to grouping. Grouping is a very powerful tool in regex. And then of course we did the Python syntax to actually execute our matching. And yeah, that's it for question 9. I think that's it for the whole worksheet. Um, Congratulations, you finished the regex discussion.